Hello friends, this is Durga again from IT University and Technology Mentor. And in this video, which is continuation to the previous one, to understand what YAM is, I will be showing how to set up a local repository and install software from there. So for this, I am taking something called Ambari server. No need to worry about what it is, and we will try to see how we can actually first install third-party vendor, install from third-party vendor um, uh, instead of Red Hat public repositories, and then we will see how to create a local repository and also how to set up yum repository server and install from there. So for any software, we need two files. One is the repository, two set of files. One is the repository itself, and the second one is configuration file, like this one. So this is the package of repositories to install the Sambari server software, and this is the repo file. And whenever you pick the software from external vendors, third party vendors, you need to download and you need to configure for compatible versions. In this case, in OS, you see two versions predominantly. One is Red Hat 6, CentOS 6, Oracle Linux 6, which all these three are flavors of Red Hat, and this one supports Red Hat or CentOS or Fedora or Oracle Linux 6, and the other one is 7, and the third one is SUSE Linux. So ours is the CentOS, and to determine the version, you need to run a command called uname -a, and in that, this will give you the your actual Linux version. Okay, so we are using 6.x, so we need to download first 6.x. So to just install from, if you have internet access, then you just have to create the repo file by in our system under etc in our VM or server under etcm.repos.d, and for that you can directly use a command called wget -nv and shift insert, and then you can give the target location and by for -o, after -o you can actually give the target location where the file needs to be created. Okay, and you can hit enter. Okay, I have to give the file name also, so it's somebody.repo and hit enter. So it is downloaded. Let's validate under etcm.repos.d, and you can see ambari.repo file. And to see the repo list, repository, what all the repos we have so far, you can just run command yum repo list. It will give all the repositories your server is configured to, and you can see it has Ambari also. Okay. Now, if you open that file using cat or vi, sorry, cat /etc, I am giving the complete path or absolute path. You can see the base URL for this software, and if you go and look at here, actually you can go to this text 2.1.0. Yeah, so base URL should match to this. So this will have the repositories you are interested in. Somehow it will be configured to download from using which it will download the software you are interested in. Once you have this, you can run this command called m-y install, Ambari server. So you need to know what server you are trying to install. You have what software you are trying to software application you are trying to install. In this case, I am trying to install a software application called Ambari server. And minus y, if it prompts anywhere, it will take the defaults. That's a default. That's why we are giving minus y, and we are trying to install for the first time. That's why we are using install. If we have to update, you can give update command here. So now you can hit enter. It will try to connect to the internet and download the software from the internet. And the ETA, if you see, it is around 320 MB file, and it will take at least 10-15 minutes. And that's how you will install using internet from third-party vendors. And I'm killing it. I don't want to do it because I want to show the next parts of the yum configuration, which is configuring local repository as well as yum server. Okay. Now we have the repo file pointing to the third-party Ambari server repository, and it is trying to install from there. Okay. Now let us try. Now let us try to set up locally. So to set up locally, you need to download this software. Okay, and let me download it to a location called cd. Let me download it here only. Okay, and right now I am under pw/root directory, and I am trying to download that software here using wget command, and it is connecting to the internet and it is downloading the entire software. So this is a tarball. This is which contains bunch of repositories packaged into one tarball, and it will take time. So let me pause it until it is done. Then I will show you how you can actually configure local repository once download is done. So now the software is downloaded. It took almost 5 minutes. And the thing is, tarball need not be the software which we are interested in. So typically, if it is tarball, you have to untar it before trying to install from local repository or from remote M server. So for that, what you can do is you can do run tar xzf command Ambari, and it will just take a moment to untar and unzip that file. And once it is done, you can run ls-ltr command, and then open up this new directory created, and you can see that there are a bunch of stuff under this. By running find, you can actually see all the files we have. Okay, so these are the files which Yum will try to set up. These are the files using which Yum will try to set up the software when you run Yum install. So now what we have to do is in our repo file, okay, we have to go to the repo file which is under etc. First let me cat cm.repos.d and ambari.repo. Let's see the contents of it. So here it is using HTTP protocol and trying to connect to this location. Okay. Now what we have to do is instead of using this one, we have to give an appropriate path from where it can download the software. Okay. And for that, what we have to do is, so we need to identify the path where we can get these files, and we have to make changes to both base URL and GPG key. Okay, so let me open it. Vi etc yum.repos.d, And by running find command, I came to know that it's under Ambari minus 2.1.0 Centos blah blah blah. So I have to use this information. Let me copy it, select it, and press the Control Insert. And now I am actually opening the ambari.repo file. And here, instead of using HTTP protocol, I will use something called file protocol. And here you have to give 3 slashes because our file system starts with slash root. Slash root is the home directory, and then I have to give the entire path where I have uh, uh, this GPG key file. And then here also under base URL also, you can use nano editor if you are not comfortable with the VA editor, or you can also use Ultraedit to connect via FTP and modify using advanced editor like Ultraedit also. And now you have to delete and add again file column //root ambari minus 2.1.0. So wherever the directory is created, after entering it, you have to give that path. You have to give the path up to the directory created. In this case, Ambari 2.1.0. Now we have configured our Ambari to set up now we have configured Ambari yum repo file to facilitate setting up locally using local repository, which is already pre-downloaded. Okay, now again you can run repo list command. So it shows the repository, and now let us install Ambari server again. See, okay, there is a problem with this. I think path is incorrect, so I need to check the path. For that, what I can do is I can actually give so it's under Ambari 2.1.0 CentOS Ambari. So I have to give till CentOS 6, I think. Let me try again. Now I am opening it up again. Yeah, here I have to give CentOS 6. Okay, now you can run the command. So now it is downloading, and the downloading is happening very fast. Unlike a few minutes it showed earlier, now it's just took a few seconds to download it, and the installation is also complete. So that's the advantage of having local repository. But the problem with it is that the installation will be the fastest by using local repository, and if you have to install it in fewer servers, but if you have to install on hundreds of servers in the enterprise, which will be typical in most of the cases, like setting up Hadoop, Cassandra, MongoDB, Oracle, etc., we should actually point to the enterprise level M server, which is this one. So now I will show you how to create your local M server. Sorry, you can how you create M repository server, and then how you can facilitate the other servers to connect to the M server and install it from there. Okay. And to set up the M repository server, I have already covered in my YouTube channel in detail. So if you go to click on Microsoft Windows for IT professionals, and if you look at this sorry, I have covered how to set up HTTP server. It requires installing Apache web server and configuring it to run locally. And one of the ways to configure M repository server is by using HTTP web server. So you can look at this to understand it completely. But for now, we will see how we can leverage HTTP server to set up our M repository server. Okay, first let us validate whether we have HTTP server already, and that for that you can just run telnet command, and yeah, HTTP is there and also it is running. So HTTP server have configuration file called etc httpd conf httpd.conf, and you have to go to the end of the file, and you should have a look at this document root, and we need to use this information to actually set up our repository. So this document root should have the full path where we have our repository. So let's copy this and come out of it and hit enter, and then we will create a directory called yum repository for our purpose. Okay, and as we have a directory, we will change we will go to the directory, and we will copy our files. Ambari, the entire directory recursively we are trying to copy it into the M repository location. So this is the path where we have the 2.1.0 Ambari 2.1.0 repository, and we will use this one to actually configure. So M repository server is already there. Okay, by just creating a directory and by just copying files into that, we have already created M repository server which is running on using HTTPD. Now we have to make the changes to our configuration file to reflect that. So our URL is, again, you have to go to you have to httpd conf file, and here whatever we have given at server name, this is the web URL which you need to use. So we need to get this information, copy it, come out of it, and now we have to go to our Ambari repo file, and instead of file protocol, here we have to give HTTP, and here you have to paste that URL, and for the path we should not give root, instead we should give M repository. So that where www html centos 66 itversity.com will be the basic is the repository directory on your yum server, which you need not be aware of. Only thing you need to do is under the document root, which directory have your which directory structure have your repository files. From there you have to know the information. In this case, I have my repositories under yum repository, which is created under document root, which is defined in httpd.conf file. Okay, same thing we need to also have to make the change here. So it's HTTP protocol, and then it's not in repository. www.centos66demo.itversity.com, and you have to give m repository here. Okay, so now you have the base URL pointing to your m repository server. Here I am doing, I'm using both server and client. I'm using one VM for both server and client. You can actually ping you can actually simulate your server to be client very easily by following these steps. We don't need to have two different servers to demonstrate it. If it works like this, and if you have connectivity between the server and yum repository server and the other server, you can use the other server as client using HTTP protocol. Okay, so to validate that, whatever URL you are giving it there, you just have to type it send, here. You just try to ping it. Let me see. Ping. So not ping actually. I have to give telnet. Oh, I have to update etc host file so that I can actually locally do that. Okay, now it will work. Yeah, so I'm able to telnet it, and I will be able to ping also. So first you need to validate from the client whether you can ping or telnet on it port 80 using this URL which you are trying to use in repo file. Okay, now you can run repo list again, and you can see that Ambari repository here. Okay, so now let me remove the Ambari server which is already there. Okay, I have removed the Ambari server application from my VM, and also I will show you that the Ambari server directory, which is used as part of the earlier installation using local repository, is moved to the document root of my HTTP server. Now if we can run m-y install Ambari server again, and see, now it is downloading it from the from the HTTP server, and now it is installing it. So it took only 2 seconds, unlike 5 minutes when you actually try to do it using using public repositories of Hortonworks. So this is how you actually use configure M server and how you set up from any client. So the repo file on the client should be pointing to the right URL and the right directory location on the remote server. Okay, otherwise you will run into issues. So that being said, we have covered in last two videos we have covered a lot of details about YAM. We have spoken about what YAM is. YAM is an automation tool to download and install software on your Linux boxes. It could be a Linux server, or it could be your VM which is running using Red Hat or Centos or Oracle Enterprise Linux. And then I have explained how it works, and also I have demonstrated how you can install from internet from public repositories of Red Hat, as well as third party vendors, and also I have shown how to create a local repository, and also I have seen you shown you how to set up enterprise YAML repository server using which you can install softwares using YAML from any of the other hosts in the enterprise. So that being said, that's it. I hope you are enjoying the videos so far in my channel. For more content, stay tuned. Using this, you will actually see the many more details going forward. If you like the video, please like it. If you want to post any comment, feel free to do so. Constructive criticism is always welcome. I will try to make it as much better as possible within my limitations. And if you want to share your friend about my channel, please do so. And thank you very much. Bye.